It was an ordinary Tuesday when Dr. Marcus Oliveira made the biggest mistake of his career as an anthropologist. It all started 3 months earlier, when his team discovered a preserved cave in the interior of Minas Gerais. Inside, in an isolated chamber with unique geological properties, they found a woman in a state of suspended animation, frozen for exactly 40,000 years. The scientific community went into a frenzy. After weeks of careful procedures, they managed to revive her. They nicknamed her Kira, based on the sounds she made. Kira was approximately 25 years old, with tangled black hair, defined muscles, and a penetrating gaze that seemed to pierce the soul of anyone who looked at her. The problem is that Kira adapted too quickly. Within weeks, she learned basic Portuguese, understood the concept of doors, electricity, and even smartphones. Marcus was so impressed that he decided to accelerate the integration process. She needs to experience the real modern world, he argued to his assistant, Clara, ignoring all safety protocols. And so, one Saturday morning, Marcus committed the insane act of taking Kira to the Iguatemi shopping mall. Kira, this is a place for commerce. People exchange colored paper for things, Marcus explained in the parking lot, pointing to a 50-real note. Kira held the note, smelled it, and tried to eat it. No. Don't eat it. Marcus snatched the bill from her mouth. You use that to get food. Kira's eyes gleamed with distorted understanding. As soon as they entered the mall, Kira stopped abruptly. Her nostrils flared. The sheer amount of smells, lights, and sounds hit her like a sensory avalanche. She let out a low, instinctive growl. Calm down, Kira. Remember? No strange noises in public, Marcus whispered nervously. Clara, who was accompanying them against her will, rolled her eyes. I warned you this was a terrible idea. The first incident happened in the food court. Kira saw a man eating a hamburger and immediately interpreted it as a display of dominance. In her mind, he was showing off his prey. She lunged forward, snatched the sandwich from the man's hand, and took a huge bite, growling in a sign of superiority. Hey! What do you think you're doing? The man shouted. Sorry. She has cognitive problems. Marcus lied, pulling Kira, who was now devouring her hamburger on the floor, crouched down. He quickly threw a $50 bill on the man's table and dragged Kira away. Kira, no. You can't take food from other people. But, he'll show it. Food for weak men. I'm a strong man, Kira retorted, pounding her chest. You're a female. And it's not about strength, it's about, forget it. The second incident was at the clothing store. Clara suggested they buy more suitable clothes for Kira, who was still wearing a kind of makeshift tunic. Upon entering the store, Kira was fascinated by the mannequins. She circled one, touched its plastic face, and suddenly pushed the mannequin, which fell with a thud. Enemy defeated. Kira shouted, stepping on the fallen mannequin. The saleswomen were paralyzed with shock. She's an actress. Method acting. Clara improvised, laughing nervously. Very dedicated to the role. Kira found a bright red dress and was mesmerized. She took off her robe right there in the middle of the store, completely naked, and began to put the dress on over her head, as if it were a sack. Kira, no. The fitting room. Use the fitting room. Marcus rushed to cover her with a coat while half a dozen customers took pictures. With great difficulty, they managed to get Kira into a fitting room. But minutes later, they heard a scream. The sales assistant had opened the curtain and found Kira drawing on the walls with lipstick, creating cave paintings of buffalo and hunters. Art! Kira exclaimed proudly, pointing to her crimson masterpiece. You'll pay for this, said the manager, pale with rage. Marcus practically threw his credit card on the counter. The third incident was the worst. Passing by a toy store, Kira saw a giant teddy bear in the window. Her hunter instincts kicked in immediately. She entered the store, let out a war cry, and charged at the bear, trying to kill it with a fly swatter she grabbed from a nearby shelf. Dangerous bear. "I protect the tribe," he yelled, repeatedly hitting the stuffed animal. The children in the store started crying. A mother picked up her child and ran out. The mall security guard was called. "Documents." "Now," demanded the security guard, a huge, grumpy man. Kira interpreted his aggressive stance as a challenge. She dropped the teddy bear and assumed a fighting stance, growling. "Kira, no." Marcus began. Too late. Kira lunged forward, but Clara, anticipating disaster, shoved a chocolate bar into her mouth. Kira stopped instantly, her eyes widening, and she began to chew slowly, as if she had discovered the meaning of life. "Chocolate," she murmured, in a trance. "Yes. Chocolate. Come on, there's more chocolate over there." Clara pointed away from the security guard. While Kira was distracted with more chocolate, Marcus explained the situation to the security guard with a heavily edited version of the truth, involving a foreign actress and an experimental artistic performance. A few hundred reis later, the security guard let them go with a stern warning. The fourth incident occurred at the decorative fountain. Kira, overstimulated and confused, saw the bubbling water of the fountain and decided it was a river. She took off the shoes Clara had forced her to wear, entered the fountain, and began fishing for coins at the bottom, believing them to be shiny fish. A group of teenagers started filming and laughing. "Look, dude. That crazy woman is fishing for coins." Kira, offended by the mocking tone, grabbed a handful of wet coins and threw them at the teenagers as if they were projectiles. One of the coins hit a boy's cell phone, which fell into the fountain. "My cell phone. You'll pay for this." Marcus was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Clara was already on the phone trying to call an Uber. And Kira? Kira was now sitting inside the fountain, splashing water and laughing like a child, completely oblivious to the chaos she had created. That's when the mall management arrived. "Sir, security is on its way. You and your companion need to leave immediately." But Kira saw the security guards approaching and interpreted it as a threat to the tribe. She left the fountain, picked up a decorative plant pot, and raised it above her head, ready to throw it. "Kira, no!" Marcus and Clara shouted together. "Tribe in danger." Kira replied. It was Clara who saved the day. She grabbed her phone, opened YouTube, and started playing a video of baby animals doing cute things. Kira immediately dropped the vase, mesmerized by the screen. What is this?" he asked, touching the screen. "I'll explain later. Now go." Clara pulled Kira by the arm. The three ran through the mall, chased by security guards, while Kira held Clara's cell phone, absolutely captivated by a video of baby otters. They miraculously managed to reach the parking lot. Marcus drove back to the research center at record speed, with Kira in the back seat still watching animal videos, now laughing in a strangely human way. When they finally arrived safely, Clara turned to Marcus in the parking lot. "You will never, never, do that again. Understand?" Marcus, sweaty and trembling, simply nodded. "But, technically, can we say that the experience was educational?" Clara stared at him with an expression that could kill. That night, 3 videos of Kira at the mall went viral on social media. One showed her attacking a teddy bear. Another showed her fishing for coins in the fountain. The third showed her running through the parking lot carrying a cell phone while 2 security guards chased her. Comments ranged from "best artistic performance of the year" to "this woman needs help." Marcus had to issue an official statement saying that it had all been an experimental advertising campaign for an independent film. Nobody really believed it, but the story was so absurd that people simply accepted it and moved on, as they often do with strange things on the internet. As for Kira, she spent the next few weeks begging to go back to the place with the lights and easy food. Marcus had to explain repeatedly that no, she couldn't go back to the mall, ever again. But he made one concession: he installed a TV in her room and signed her up for every streaming service available. Kira discovered nature documentaries and spent hours watching them, occasionally shouting hunting advice at the animals on the screen. Clara was promoted to project coordinator, mainly because she was the only person who could control Kira with chocolate and videos of cute animals. And Marcus? Marcus learned the most important lesson of his career: just because you can do something, doesn't mean you should. Especially if that something involves taking a 40,000-year-old cavewoman to a shopping mall on a Saturday afternoon. Humanity simply wasn't ready for that. Not that shopping. And honestly, neither does Kira. But at least she discovered chocolate. And that, in the end, may have been worth all the chaos. Perhaps.